Gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
So let's come to a comfortable seat, Sukhasana, or if you like half lotus, you can always lift up the foot and just hook it into the hip, or even full lotus posture, whichever. And you can take a mudra. Ajahn mudra is always quite nice, just resting the thumb against the index finger, rolling the shoulders back and down, relaxing the elbows and letting the backs of the hands just come to the backs of the knees. Sit nice and tall here, not too rigid, but firm yet relaxed. And start coming into your surroundings, coming into your space, coming onto the mat. Taking gentle and slow inhales and exhales through the nostrils. And as you start to get the breath into a regular rhythm, using the breath as your anchor back inwards. So if your mind does wander off to other thoughts or distractions, just bring it back into your breath, observing, not judging. And drawing inwards to your physical presence as you just sit there in that present moment. Nothing in the past matters, and for now, nothing in the future matters. When mornings become cooler and the sun takes a bit more time to make it over the horizon, we go inward. As winter approaches, nature begins to rest. After a year of growth and producing, plants and animals slow down and store up their energy. Take the time now to slow down, to restore your energy. And take a cue from nature and let go of the need to overproduce. So with those words in mind, at this time of the year, a time where it's quite busy preparing, visiting, having people visit you, sending out gifts, cards. Whatever this time of the year brings for you, take note and always remember to slow down, sometimes to just take a few breaths. Restore your energy. So in this practice, we'll return to our Sivananda 12, the 12 basic postures of the Hatha lineage of yoga. You'll be holding the 12 postures for between 5 and 10 breaths. I want you to focus on what you feel you need to focus on in the posture, whether that be the anchor of your breath, whether it be the feeling, the sensations that come up from the posture, whether it be the energetic body, the subtle energies in the chakras of the body, or the physical, the anatomical, what you're actually working, the muscles, the joints. So before we come into our Sivananda 12, just release the mudra, wiggle the fingers, circle the wrists, circle the shoulders. Just get a little bit of movement back into the body and change your position of seating if you wish, bringing the other foot in front or sitting cross-legged, balancing out. We're just going to take our Bija seed mantras. I promised you mantras in December, and I feel that we haven't done any, so preparing us for singing at this time of the year as well, preparing our voices. Sometimes our voices don't tend to work early in the morning, but you can also draw the mantras inwards. So instead of actually vocalizing the mantra, you can draw that mantra into the mind's eye. So, and these Bija seed mantras work with the chakras. So they start down at the base of the chakra, the root, come up to the sacrum, come up to the solar plexus, come up to the heart, come up to the throat, and then to the third eye and to the crown. So sitting nice and tall and just feel comfortable here. We're going to repeat each mantra 3 times. So the first mantra is LAM, L-A-M, but it's when you kind of sound the mantras, they're all kind of lang. So L-A and then N-G, so lang. So sitting nice and tall, let's start with a lang mantra or lam, deep down into the root and really feel the deep resonance in the base of the mantra. Taking a nice deep inhale and exhale to prepare. And then a deep inhale. 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 And inhale and exhales as normal. As we move up through the chakra system, we come to our sacral chakra of Vam, V-A-M, but again pronounced V-A and then N-G, so Vang. So 3 times. Inhale and exhale to prepare. Deep inhale. 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 Return to an even breath. Our next Bija seed mantra comes up to the solar plexus, which is Ram, R-A-M, or Rang. So again, you start to feel the vibrations of the Bija seed mantra within the solar plexus or the Manipura. Inhale and exhale to prepare. Deep inhale. 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 Returning to equal breath. And the next one comes up to our heart, and that is Yam, Y-A-M, but again pronounced yang. And again, the resonance changes, as does the tonal of the Bija mantra. So breathing in and out to prepare. Deep inhale. 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 Returning to equal breath. The one that comes up for the throat chakra or the Vishuddha is Hum, H-A-M, but again, Hung, H-A-N-G. Breathing in and out to prepare. Deep inhale. 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 And returning to an even breath. And the last and final Bija mantra is Aum, A-U-M, sometimes referred to as Om, but it's an Aum, and that controls the crown and the third eye, so the Ajna chakra and the Sahasrara. So we'll just do 3 Aums to bring in both of them, and then we can begin our Sivananda 12. So breathing in and out to prepare. Deep inhale. Deep inhale. Inhale. And breathing normally. And releasing from your seat. So you have 6 Bija Mantras that you could also introduce into your 12 Sivananda today. So I will let you know which Bija Mantra works with each posture. And again, just anchoring yourself to your breath and your breathing, but also the feeling of the posture, the sensations that come up for you. So let's just bring ourselves into a tabletop, release our spines, swaying the hips from side to side, maybe a few rounds of cat and cow. Again, drawing the breath into the movement. And let's take a child's pose, maybe active or wide legs. Stretching the spine, releasing the hands down as you bring the chest and the head down to the mat. So in the Sivananda 12, we start at the crown of the head and work downwards. We've just done our Bija seed mantra from the root upwards towards the crown. So we come into our first posture of Asana, which is headstand or headstand prep. So making sure that you bring your hands in to measure your foundation, measure your frame, and bringing the head into the cup of your interlaced fingers. Not too much weight into the crown of your head, really pressing into the hands and the elbows and forearms. You can stay here. You can also tuck the toes, and you can also lift the knees, lifting the hips high, keeping the spine nice and long, and teeter the toes forward, and then maybe you bring the feet off the mat and extend up into your headstand, finding 10 breaths here. Remembering, focusing on 3 things: the breath, maybe the mantra of Aum, feelings, the sensations, the subtle bodies of the chakras, coming down when you need to, and resting into a child's pose. Taking a few breaths. Blood is probably gone straight into the head and the brain, so really allow a soft and steady breath when you come out of an inversion. Certainly the first posture, always a bit of a shock. And then start to roll up through the spine to kneeling. Sitting nice and tall. And again, just really feeling the central kind of energies of the spine all the way from the crown to the roots. So you feel that rooting feeling and that rising. We're going to swing our legs around, come into our second posture. This is Sivananda or shoulder stand. And again, many variations for shoulder stand. You can use a block or a bolster underneath the pelvis. So you can just lift the legs here. This is one variation of shoulder stand, or with the prop underneath your pelvis. Or if you're coming up into the full posture of Sivananda, then support the spine with the hands up behind the lower back. So draw the knees in first of all, just roll out a little bit through the spine. Just always prepare. We never have to rush into these postures. And then choosing your posture of shoulder stand. Again, 10, 15 breaths, whatever your choice is. And here you can use the breath to anchor, get into the physical sensations, or the mantra of hum with the throat chakra. Again, you don't actually have to verbalize or vocalize the mantra. Just draw inwards to hum. From our shoulder stand, we do go straight into our third posture of halasana, which is plow. So choosing your options of going into plow, you can bend the knees by the side of the ears or to the forehead for snail, or you can simply straighten the legs right back behind you, lowering the toes, supporting the spine, and just finding what works for you here in the morning. Maybe releasing the hands down by the side of the body. Again, the mantra is hum. Keeping the spine nice and long. Toes may or may not reach the mat. Finding 10 slow and steady, relaxing breaths as you hold the posture. Remember, we're slowing everything down. Be patient with yourself. From halasana, we start to release the hands to the mat and slowly roll down through the spine. So the shoulders come down, the upper back, then the middle back, then the lower back and the sacrum and the pelvis. Legs go up towards the sky and you're in that L shape, and then start to lower the legs nice and slowly. Take 10 counts to go down. Draw the belly in towards the abdomen. Belly into the spine and the spine into the mat. Once the feet come down, just take a moment's rest. Breathe in and out in Shavasana. Next posture is our fish pose or Basic Asana. And so the hands come underneath the body, palms face down, thumbs connect, and you draw the elbows underneath you towards the rib cage. And then you press into the forearms and the palms to lift the upper body away from the mat. You can stay here and look along the body, and you don't have to take the head back. But again, finding 10 breaths, open the chest, open the heart to the sky. We're coming into the next mantra of Yam, heart Anahata mantra. If you wish to, you can always lift the feet away from the mat. Slow and steady breathing in Matsya Asana. Breathe into the lungs, the rib cage, the heart space, the upper back. And coming out, slowly release the body down. Head comes down and release the hands. Take a moment in Shavasana just to rest and breathe. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Gently roll and massage out a little bit through the spine. We're going to come up to seated into our fifth posture. So rolling to one side, gently press yourself up. Legs come out in front of you for Paschimottanasana, or seated forward fold. So as we're still kind of working down the body, down through the chakras, we come still into the Anahata, and still your Yam mantra, your Bija Mantra of Yang. So when you're in the fold, you can always draw that mantra inwards. Inhale the arms up towards the sky, and then reach long, open the chest, open the heart, nice long spine as you reach forward, breathing out. Maybe the fingers hook around the toes, and you hold the posture here, or the hands can come down to the side of your mat or to your calves. Keep the chest nice and open. Draw the belly back to the spine. Let's find 10 breaths here. Again, mantra is Yam. So each exhale, you may draw inwards to Yam. Releasing a little bit more on your exhale. Releasing the hands, just release the body, let go of the head and the neck, soften through the spine this time, rounding through the upper back and shoulders. Let the head relax and be heavy. And then start to roll up and unroll the spine, bringing yourself back up into that seated upright position, shoulders above hips, sitting nice and tall. And just draw the knees in a little bit, and hands come back behind you as you just windscreen wiper the legs out to the side. So the next 3 postures are all in our prone position. So we're going to swing the legs around behind us and then come onto our belly. Bringing the hands underneath the head, just bring the big toes to touch and just sway out a little bit through the hips and the pelvis here. Relax the glutes, the legs and the feet. Take note of the spine here because we've obviously just done a forward fold and now we're coming into back extensions. And this is where we start to still work with the anahata, so yam, but we also come down into the solar plexus of ram. So you can choose either of those Bija Mantras. So first posture is Bhujangasana or Cobra. So widening the feet if you wish, or keeping the toes connected. Okay, hands come underneath the shoulders, draw the elbows in and downwards towards the hips, roll the shoulders back, lengthen the crown of the head away and lifting up into your cobra. Bhujangasana may be nice and low, or it might be a little higher. Find there for 10 breaths. Engage the glutes, engage the back extensors, support the spine. Maybe drawing into your mantra of Yam or Ram. Trying not to drop the body on the exhale, but keeping the height of your cobra. Anchoring to your breath. And slowly releasing the body down, hands come back underneath the head, big toes touch, sway out to release the spine. Second back extension is Shalabhasana or locust pose. So again, couple of variations for locust. You can choose which one you wish to do. So you can do, you can interlace the fingers and lift the legs, lift the body. That's a locust there. You might keep the hands by the side of the hips, lifting just the upper body into your half locust, or again, feet. Or if you wish to come into the Shalabhasana with the hands underneath the body, you rest on the chin. Again, this is your yam and your ram. Well, we're actually really coming down into ram now. And then the legs lift. I used to be able to do Shalabhasana so much better. Lifting the legs up and back behind you. 10 breaths of wherever your locust is. Anchoring the breath. Internalizing the mantra. Doing great with locust. Lifting up a little bit more on each inhale, trying not to drop on the exhales. Couple more breaths. And then gently release. Take the hands by the side of your hips, turn to the cheek, and just sway out to release. And that's why we're coming down into Ram, the mantra area of the solar plexus, because we need that strength. And last back extension in prone is our bow, Dhanurasana. So again, bow options. You can take hold of the feet and draw the heels in towards the buttock and stay there and just lift the upper body. Or you may wish to lift the legs and the body as well. So always a choice, remembering we're holding for 10 breaths. So take your option and find your breath come out when you are ready. Remember the mantra of Ram, solar plexus. Smile and be strong. Lifting up on the inhale, almost there. Press the feet into the hands. Good. And lowering the legs, lowering the body, and releasing, turning to the opposite cheek, hands by the hips, and just sway out to release. Remember, slow everything down. So let's press back, tabletop. And just find a little cat and cow and a release for yourself here through the spine. Maybe the spine is a little bit more mobile than when we first did our cat and cows. Mine certainly is. My back does not respond well in the morning. And then releasing back to kneeling, just sitting tall for a moment, just to release through the spine, let everything kind of rebuild itself, sitting nice and tall. And as we come down into this area of our solar plexus, deep into our Manipura, we continue with a twist, Ardha Matsyendrasana twist, or a half spinal twist. So options of half spinal twist, you can bring the right leg over the left, keeping the left leg straight, or you may wish to wrap the leg around behind you. Try to release both sit bones down and then really ground through that big toe of your right foot. Sitting nice and tall, we're going to twist towards the thigh, getting the belly free from the thigh, and maybe the elbow comes over and you can return to that Jan Mudra. So remembering the mantra of Ram, let's find 5 breaths here. 5 slow, long inhales and exhales. Maybe use Ujjayi. Inhale, lengthens the spine. Exhale, deepens your rotation. Last breath. Release the mudra. Bring yourself to center. Continue all the way around. Hands go back behind you, lifting up the legs, and then bringing the right leg underneath, left leg on top. A little bit of coordination for the morning, still facing the same way. Sitting nice and tall, dropping through that left hip, getting both sit bones down, and then releasing the belly from the thigh, getting the elbow over, coming to Jan Mudra, opening up the chest to the side of your mat. Again, Ram is your mantra. 5 breaths. Remember, the mantra is on your exhale. As you internalize, you do not have to vocalize. Last breath. Release the mudra. Bring yourself back into center. Release the legs. And just sit nice and tall with the knees out in front of you. Really feel the spine nice and long. Excuse me. And let's come into our crow pose. So again, you don't have to take the feet off of the mat in crow, and you can find 5 or 10 breaths in crow, whatever feels good. And crow poses or Asana. Bringing the knees in towards the armpits or the upper arms. And then rocking forward. You can always stay here, and you can just play with lifting a toe or lifting the other toe. I've got slippy arms, haven't I? Long-sleeved tops do not help with arm balances. Remembering the mantra of Ram, lifting the sit bones high, lengthening spine. Finding 5 or 10 breaths. Amazing. When you come out of the crow, release the feet, lift the hips straight away, heel toe the feet into parallel, either hip width or toes connected into a deeper forward fold. Then the knees, inhale as you lengthen the spine, hands on the shins, nice flat back here. Really draw the abdomen in. We're going into Uttanasana or forward fold. So lengthen the spine, lift the hips, straighten the legs, and start to release the crown of the head down to the mat. Hands might come back by the calves or by the side of your feet. Let's take 10 breaths in your fold. Remembering the mantra is coming down now to the sacral region of Vam, V-A-M, Vang. Lifting sit bones, lengthening through the back of the legs, releasing the spine and the head. From the fold, take your time to roll up or flat back up to standing, whatever you need to do. Take time to unroll the spine and coming up into standing. We find a Tadasana, and this is where we come down into our root, our Bija Mantra of Lam. So standing nice and tall at the front of your mat in your Tadasana. I'm in the middle because I can't stand at the front. So we're going to come into our sun salutations from here, our Sivananda sun salutations. Again, that's going to be pretty hard for me in this space. So nice and tall through the spine, really feeling what the rest of the practice has already done. Lifting the arms up on your inhale. Exhale, forward fold, either with a flat back or bend. Inhale to half lift. Exhale, step back, right leg, find a nice low lunge here. Open the chest and take it back into your plank position. Lowering the knees, chest, chin to the mat, ground position as you breathe out. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look forward. Right leg comes between the hands into your low lunge. And then stepping forward into your fold. Inhale. Bring yourself up to standing. Second side. Exhale. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Oops. Exhale, fold. Step back with the left leg into your lunge. Hands come down. We step back into plank. Right leg meets left. Lowering knees, chest, chin as you breathe out. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Looking forward. Inhale, left leg steps forward into your lunge. Exhale, into your fold. Inhale, arms raise, bringing you up to standing. Exhale, hands down. Let's repeat once more, right and left. Inhale, arms raise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, right leg steps back. Find a nice low lunge. Open the chest, the heart. Exhale, step back to plank, nice and controlled here. Your choice, chaturanga or up dog, or lowering the knees. Cobra, down dog. Remember, breath, slow everything down. Right leg steps forward. Find the low lunge. Exhale into the fold. Inhale, arms raised to the sky. Exhale, hands come down to the heart. Last and final time. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, step back left. Exhale, back into plank. Lower knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg steps forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms raise. And exhale, release the hands into Samastiti this time. Hands into the heart. And just take a moment to breathe. Sun salutations, bring everything that we've done on the mat all in together. And also find the entire chakra system and the spinal column working. So let's come into our final posture of the 12, which is Trikonasana. So right leg steps forward, left leg comes back. You find the position of the feet. This is where we're coming into the root chakra or the Muladhara, and our Bija seed mantra is LAM, L-I-A-M. Arms release, shoulder height, looking along that middle finger. And legs remain straight, drawing the inner thighs in towards each other. Reaching long over your right leg. And exhale, take the arm down. Remember that hand stays free from the shin. So you're reaching that arm down, reaching the fingertips up to the sky and rolling the rib cage nice and open. Good. Feel grounded through the feet, but not tensing through the toes. Strong. And then press through the feet, lift back up, release the hands, and then turn the feet inwards. I'm going to introduce just one posture which isn't part of the 12 in here. So that's our standing wide-legged forward fold. Hands come onto the hips. Going to press the hips back, lead with the chest. Think of a nice flat spine. Toes turn inwards, heels turn out. Release the body down. You might walk the hands back through the legs and then draw yourself downwards a little bit more, keeping the sit bones nice and lifted. I've just thrown this one in there before we change to the other side of Trikonasana. Now really feel that entire chakra system, the entire length of the spine from crown up to the root. Releasing the crown of the head further towards the mat. Keep the spine nice and long. And then walk the hands back in towards the center. Lengthen the spine. Hands come to the hips. Press through the feet. Use the core and the spine to bring you up. Turn your foot the other way. So your left leg is in front. You might be facing the back of your mat. That's okay. Arms raise for Trikonasana. Find the position through the feet, the legs, the hips. Draw the inner thighs together. Reach long over the leg and release the arm down. Keep the lift into the right side of your body. And then your right arm is reaching up towards the sky. Open the rib cage. Gaze might go to the top hand or down at the bottom hand or straight ahead. Draw into your breath and the mantra of Lam. Try to release the toes, but spread the feet, working towards the outer edge of your back foot. Really pressing through the outer edge. And then press through the feet, lift the arms. We're going to do that wide-legged forward fold once more. So turn the feet inwards. Hands come onto the hips. Press the hips back. Chest leads, nice flat back as you fold. Hands come to the big toes this time. So you might loop your two peace fingers around your big toe. And then your thumb kind of just tucks underneath. And then widen the heels, widen the elbows, drawing the body downwards. Crown of the head reaches towards the mat. Again, nice long spine. You're not collapsing. Drawing yourself towards the legs. Lifting the sit bones. Remember, Lam. And then release the fingers, release the hands, take the hands up onto the hips, long spine, reach the crown of the head away, bring yourself up and just step to the front of your mat. Hands into Samasthiti at heart center. We're going to come all the way down. So just through one round of a sun salutation. So inhale, the arms raise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale into your half lift. You can jump or step back into your plank chaturanga up dog. Always choices. Lowering down, ground position, or chaturanga, up dog, cobra, back to down dog. Let's find 3 to 5 breaths in down dog. Release the heels. Slow everything down here. Slow the breath. And then let's all come into a child's pose as you rock forward, lowering the knees and releasing down, maybe wide leg or active. Hands can come underneath the head or out in front or by the side of the body. So just take note here of how the body feels now after those 12 Sivananda Hatha postures.
Also some sun salutations, the breath, the mantras. And start to roll up through the spine, coming into kneeling, sitting nice and tall. Again, feel the crown of the head rising to the sky, and you're rooting through the Muladhara or the root chakra. So make sure you're nice and warm as we come down onto our backs to finish off. Just some little stretching and our final relaxation in Shavasana. So popping socks on or jumpers, whatever you need, start to roll down through the spine, drawing the knees in towards the chest, and roll out a little bit through the spine. So the thing with the Sivananda is that it does really focus on the entire body, but everything is going through the spine, which is our, it's our strength point. Our spine holds us together. Everything is intrinsically linked to our spinal column and the skeletal structure of our bodies. So let's take a nice twist so the arms come out to shoulder height. And you can choose one-legged twist or both legs twist, lifting the hips up to the left and then dropping the knees over to the right. You might wish to stay there or rest the knees on a block. You might wish to use the right hand on top of the left knee, and you might wish to extend the top leg. So always choices. Open the chest up towards the sky. No mantras here. Just the breath. Use each exhale to let go a little bit more. Let go of the underneath leg, the underneath hip or thigh. Try to relax into the top leg, the outer thigh, the inner groin, and the glute. Also the outer hip, the left side of your body, the shoulder blade down towards the mat. Relaxing through the head and the face. If you had the leg straight, bend the knee. Bring both knees back into the center as you breathe in. Realign the hips into the center. Take the feet wide and drop the knees towards one another in the center. Try to relax the belly, the hips, and the pelvis here. Feel the spine fully connecting into the mat. Heel toe the feet into parallel. Draw the knees in, roll and massage out a little bit through the spine once more. Try to keep the tailbone lengthening and the neck is nice and long. Feet come down, shift the hips over to the right this time as the knees drop over to the left. You can stay there with both knees either resting on a bolster or a block. You can use your left hand to your right knee, and you can choose the option of straightening your top leg. You might wish to take hold of the outer edge of your foot or the big toe, or maybe let that foot just drop to the mat without releasing through the right shoulder. So keep the chest nice and open, drawing the right shoulder down. Relax everything. Nothing is engaged or contracted. Soften into the twist as you slow down the end of our practice. Anchoring through your breath, trying to even the inhales to the exhales. And if you chose to straighten the leg, just bend that leg back. Breathe in, bring both knees back into the center as you realign the hips and pelvis onto the mat. And then take the feet wide. Knees drop in together. Release the hips and the pelvis. And this time lifting the arms up above the head and open the chest, open the shoulders. And the palms are face up here as you just relax into this restorative rest pose. So if there's something else that you need to do before you come into Shavasana, go ahead, do that. It might be just getting warm, putting a blanket over you, getting an eye pillow, or making yourself comfortable, or maybe another posture. That's your choice before we go into final relaxation. Now, making yourself supremely comfortable. Make those final tiny adjustments to the body, to the hands, to the shoulders, to the legs, and to the feet. As we begin to come to stillness, we slow everything down for final relaxation in Shavasana. Softening the breath, softening the body, and drawing inwards, not letting the mind be distracted by any thoughts or sounds. Being completely present. And just reminding yourself of the wonderful work that you always do. Always for yourself when you come to the mat, your practice. And the Sivananda 12 is from a very traditional lineage of yoga. It encourages proper breathing, flexibility, strength, and vitality in the body, whilst calming the mind. I'll leave you for a few moments of your own personal silence and let you know when it's time to come back around.
beginning to deepen the breath. Bringing awareness back into the body. Bringing soft and gentle movement to the hands, to the feet, to the head. Choosing to stretch or draw the knees in. And just again, taking time, slowing everything down. There is never any rush. Taking time to return back up to a comfortable seat, bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra at heart center, sitting nice and tall, yet that firm yet relaxed posture. Easy pose, be comfortable. Feel the spine long from root to crown. We'll end our practice with one Om. Taking a nice deep inhale to prepare. And reminding yourself to thank your body, your breath, your voice. And I thank you. Namaste.